when it's time to design an app from the beginning, typically what a company would do is they would put their company unique URL into the package name. We didn't do that at the beginning of the semester. That's my mouse. There it is. So our application goes by com.example. F21 whatever restaurant rater. Now the challenge is when we go to deploy to the Google Play Store, it's looking for us to have a unique way of identifying our project. And the way that they do that is in our Gradle script under module, you can see the application ID here. Now this application ID needs to match the actual directory structure of our project. And if we expand our project, you can see we can't actually get to this middle bit here, this example. We can keep the com dot and we can keep the F21 restaurant rater. But instead of example, we need to put in something unique. What I'm going to recommend is use your student number, something like GC12345. And in order to their procedure for you and put it onto Blackboard. So in Blackboard, under our week 8, right? So if I go to weekly learning, week 8, and here we have this document, how to change the application ID. And the idea is that this is just a walkthrough of all the little steps you need to take. So the first thing is we need a way to be able to access that center package name and change it. So we're going to change our view to be the project view. So I'm going to switch from Android to project view. Sorry. And then the next thing we need to do is grab the little gear icon, and we need to remove this selection called Compact Middle Packages. So right now, if I go to expand this, I can't get at the word example. If I try to refactor this, it won't let me do just that one little bit. At least I don't think it will. So if you remove that, this now expands, so we can change just this little bit. So we're going to refactor, rename. And in here, instead of example, I want to say GC and put your student number. And we'll say refactor. And what it does is down here, it finds all the places that are referencing com.example.f21 restaurant rater, and it's found 29 references in 18 files, and it's suggesting that we refactor them. If you want to see what those references are, you can actually expand this. So for example, in the Android manifest, here's all the actual lines of code that reference com.example. So if we follow our process here, we'll get to that state, and it tells us to do the refactor. So now it changes it throughout. But if I were to try to build my application at this point, it will actually break. And that's because in our build.gradle file, the application ID is com.example.f21 restaurant rater. But our directory structure is com.gc123456789. So we need to change this as well. Okay, so this is in, make sure you get the right one. This is my module level build.gradle file. Okay, now because I've changed my Gradle file, I need to do a sync. Okay, so we've updated that. Now the next thing it's suggesting here is to clean and rebuild your project, and this rebuild will actually fail. But why do we have to clean our project? Well, right now, everything or many things about our project are cached, and they cache it to improve the build performance so that we're not constantly waiting for this thing to build from scratch every time. In there, we're going to have several items that are unfortunately cached and reflective of the old name of our application. So we need to get rid of those. We need to clean them all out and build from scratch. So we're going to go build, clean project, and then we're going to have to rebuild the project. Now this will likely run for a while and then fail. And the reason is that in our Google Services document, right? So our Google Services document is under Project, Google Services. In here, it's referring to com.example.f21 Restaurant Rater. So our Firebase Firestore is connected to com.example.f21 Restaurant Rater, not com.gc123456789. So we need to add that. That's easy enough to do. All you have to do is go to your console. Okay, so I've got my Firebase console here. I've selected my project, F21 Restaurant Rater. And if I go to the settings, if I scroll down, I can see that I've got my application here. And really what I want to do is I'm going to add another application with a slightly different name. So I'm going to say add app. It's an Android app. Now here I need to put in my package name. I got that from my build.gradle file. So if I go back into build.gradle, I can just copy this application ID. So I'm going to copy that and I'll paste it in here. I'll give it a name, Restaurator. And then this SHA-1 fingerprint, this is what we used for our Google Auto Sign-In. So let's go back to our application here. Where we found that before was we clicked on Gradle, and under Tasks and Signing Report, we have our SHA-1 fingerprint. So I'm just going to copy that, paste it here. If you don't do that at this stage, you can do it later. We'll click on Register App. And now it says to download the Google Services.json file, right? So this is the new Google Services JSON file. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the items, copy it, and I'm going to go put this into my Android Studio file. So under Project, there's my Google Services. I'm just going to overwrite the existing file. So I'll just paste it over top. You see most of it's identical, but where it changes is this package name. There may be other subtle things in there, I don't know, but for sure it changed the package name. So now, if I do that clean and rebuild project, it should be able to build because now Firebase actually can see it. So let's go into Firebase and keep setting this up. So you can see it finished the rebuild. It tells us to add the dependencies, which we already had in our application. And now we're all set. So here now we can see we've got two applications. One's com.example, which was our original, and one is com.gc123456789. So let's just test our app and make sure that we are good. And I got to run the app, not the signing report. It's coming online. Here we go. Now in the last class I had set up this device to use my Google account, so it should actually auto log me in. Oh, it didn't. Maybe it's because I did a cold boot. Don't know why it didn't go through there. Let's try it again. Maybe I had a little typo. And here we can see our restaurants. And if we click on Jared's Place, we can see we've got some items and our navigation seems to be working. So we've successfully changed the application ID of our project.